How practice has been the last couple days?
Good. These guys are like clockwork in terms of coming in and just trying to be focused and trying to get better. So they've been really good, really positive. We're kind of throwing some different things out there, and just we continue to tinker and see if we can find little ways to get better. But the guys have been terrific.
What do you feel are some things that maybe you want to tinker with going forward down these last few weeks?
It feels like we change the starting lineup every game now, and so we're playing with that. We're playing with some just different combination guys on the floor. We've had some complications with communication on the floor, and there's different ways to approach it. One way is to try and make communication easier schematically, and so we're kind of looking at some ways to maybe try and do that. Just giving the guys fresh looks for each other.
You kind of touched on it in Spokane, but could maybe tinkering the lineup consist of the youth movement, guys that are going to be back next year? They got a lot of run in Spokane.
Yeah, I think yes. The only guys not back are Rudy and Gideon. Those guys are going to continue to play a ton of minutes, but so I don't know that it's just everybody else is young, right? So we will, we'll keep, obviously Gideon and Rudy are such a massive, important part of this team, and they make us win, and so we'll keep milking those guys for everything that they're worth, and we'll just try and put maybe a few different looks out on the floor for more minutes if we can, and just see where it takes us.
How much progress would you say Foose and Atiki have made since they got here on campus?
It's breathtaking, actually. Like, just Foose's progress over the last 2 months has been pretty staggering, and he's just doing things different on the court right now. And what's pretty amazing for Foose is that he's doing so much more, and he's becoming so much more versatile. And all the focus is on him this year, where it was not on him last year, right? He's the headliner on the Scout and everything else, and he's attracting way more bodies than he did last year. So normally you would see probably likely a regression or maybe just be grateful for a status quo in terms of productivity, just because if he could stay status quo, that means he's made a massive jump, because he's doing it now with way more attention given to him. And so the fact that he's become so creative and dynamic is really exciting for us. And Atiki also. Atiki might have made bigger strides. Actually, he might have improved more. We're not getting to see it as much because he's got a couple areas that are still, where he still needs to make massive progress for all the other stuff to show. But both those guys have made tremendous progress on the offensive, and maybe even more so on the defensive end of the ball, with what we're expecting him to do and how we're expecting him to guard, and not just making reads, but also being versatile in terms of their defensive approach. And so I'm super proud of those guys, and I anticipate that their trajectory is going to continue, and they have a chance. You think about this program growing and getting better, and those young guys are a major part of it for sure.
With Foose, just kind of following up on that, has his injuries been more has he been at 100% at all this year, would you say?
I think he's probably as close as he's been all year right now. He had the ankle and he had the foot and he had the hamstring kind of back to back to back, but he's when he sat out, it's been expensive, but he comes back, and the first day he's back, he's great, right? So he the one thing about Foose is he doesn't seem like it takes him a week or two to get his rhythm back. He just is terrific from the first moment he steps back on the court. And the end of this season and this summer is going to be really, really important for him, and his health is going to be really important because this is another big jump coming for him. So
2 difficult challenges this week. Is the team's confidence maybe shaken if they're faced with a close game down the stretch? if they can finish the job?
You know, it's funny you ask that because it makes a lot of sense to ask that question. I don't even think we're there yet. You know, I think it's so funny all the stuff that you're normally, fretting over in the course of a season. We're not there yet. We're just trying to play the game right and better. And so I don't think so because it's just not we're going to get to that, and that's going to become a major, the closing minutes of the game is going to become a major piece of this for us as this team becomes more competitive. But right now, we there's a lot, right? And that's why this team is fun. It's because there's so much growing to do. But so that is not I don't think so. I don't think the guys will be phased. I think the last 2 minutes they're going to be trying just as hard to play right as they are the minute 24 and 25, right? So that's kind of where we are.
What have been your impressions of Traden's improvement since that first St. Mary's match up to where he's at now?
Yeah, Traden has helped us a lot. He's been really important. He had important minutes against Gonzaga, certainly, and his minutes against St. Mary's were huge. And it's kind of that part about, I think he's gained the trust of the guys on the team and certainly the staff that he can go in certain moments and really help us. And I think he's got some upside too. Like his ball skills are really impressive, and he's comfortable making plays. He's comfortable passing. He's comfortable handling the ball. He's got a good feel for space, and he's got a hefty body, right? He can stand in there and kind of compete physically. It was really important to have him fresh coming off the bench in Gonzaga, where we were in foul trouble and we had some fatigue out there, and he was able to throw another fresh body out there and be really functional. He's been great.
He's a PWO, correct? Or
he is, yeah.
Well, I asked that because when you're kind of exploring walk-ons, because he came from Chaminade, what do you maybe look for in identifying a walk-on to join your program?
Well, the most important thing for a walk-on is to be durable, right? That's the most important thing because, you could have really talented walk-ons that just are not there every day, and the most important thing is that they're there to go every day. And he's been incredible that way. He's been unbelievable, and he's got a durable body and a durable game, and then he's just got a. He's got a really humble and hungry attitude, and he's got some confidence in him. He wants to be here for sure. He loves being with his team. I think he believes in the direction that we're going. I think he believes in these young guys. I think he's been a great mentor to these young guys, and he's helping us on the court. So he's a mature guy, and so he's actually been a great piece to our program. I'm super grateful that he's here.
2 more questions.
When he was in Juke, though, he spent a lot of time where he was actually running the point for some, and then he kind of moved down low, and he's obviously played sort of 4, some 5, and that kind of thing. When you see that sort of growth, is that something that you kind of saw when you were bringing him in, I guess?
Yeah, one of the things you look at for a walk-on also is for when you're adding the final pieces to a roster is you want guys that can function out on the court, that can kind of make every play, right? That aren't going to be a distraction because they turn it over, can't handle physicality, or can't handle pressure or whatever. And so his background was super appealing to us. It was really, really appealing, especially with the kind of the outside in kind of approach to transition that we're taking. And so, yeah, for sure. I mean, he's had a really, really interesting road, not just in the schools he's attended, but also in his life and also in his skill set. It's super unique, right? He was a starting point guard, and now he's, playing the 5. There's not that many guys that play those 2 positions, although Atiki is convinced that he can also play the point guard position.
You're probably immersed in the season at hand, but do you ever catch a glimpse of Big 12 basketball and what's going on?
Sure,
and maybe,
yeah.
Does it give you maybe a lens of what you have to do with this program long term, with this program right now?
I mean, yeah, it's clearly we have a lot of work to do in any league that we're going to be in, especially the best league in the country, and that's all It's super scary to play the long game in athletics. It's really, really scary. But for us, it's the right thing to do. And I got all the faith in the world that it's going to pay off incredible dividends. But we're definitely playing the long game with that in mind. And it's going to be a really chaotic and really taxing and stressful and worrisome journey, but all the great journeys are that way, right? And so, yeah, we're paying close attention all the time.
Okay, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for being here. Appreciate y'all.